Hi, I'm Joe Morgan, a flat fee financial planner from Best Financial Life, and I'm sharing some money moves that might be good for you to explore. Now, this is not financial advice. Financial advice is specific to you and your circumstances. And of course, I don't know you. So these are just general money moves we're discussing today. Today's topic is the risk reward of your company stock. Let's begin by talking about what I mean by risk reward. And we'll talk about the reward first. So, the reward, when we think about your company stock, is pretty obvious. It's a higher stock price. That comes from better performance in the future. Your company is performing a certain way today. Everybody knows that, or at least the public, has their publicly available information, and they've determined that this is the right stock price today. That's how the market works. So something better has to happen in the future for the stock price to go up, especially for it to go up more than other companies. And so if that happens, that's the reward. Our stock price goes up. Now, the question I have for you is, assume that happens, would you sell? So if you put yourself in that position, things are going even better than they are today. The stock price has gone up. The news is good. At what point do you think that you should sell? And I would argue that if we're not really thinking this through and we don't have a plan, it's unlikely that we'll sell after the stock goes up. And that could be damaging because at some point, of course, stocks go down. If we're going to ride this reward and go for this reward, we need a plan to make sure that we actually receive the reward and it's not just on paper. Now, let's talk about the risk. You have your income coming from your employer, the company who's giving you this stock. And now you have the stock, which is part of your wealth. So both your wealth, your stock, and your income is tied to the same company, the activities of the same company. And of course, it's not exactly tied the same way because you contribute to the company in your way, and the stock represents how the overall company is doing itself, but they're still very much tied together. So if something goes bad, how bad will it get for you? In other words, if the company really stumbles and if that affects your employment and it also affects your wealth, how bad can things really get for you? I think that's something important to understand while we're taking the risk itself. Now, why is all of this important? Well, if we understand the reward versus the risk, and we have multiple opportunities to take chances, and we find a good risk reward trade off, and we say, well, I'm happy taking this risk because the reward is so great and the downside is not so bad, then that's great if we can do that multiple times. And especially if the probability that we'll be successful is over 50%, then we want to do that all day long. And so if we think about another market, if we think about the casino, gambling in a casino, we know that the probability of winning each individual bet is less than 50%. And that's why it doesn't work to have that as an income strategy. But now I'm saying in the stock market, it should be more than 50%. But in order to be successful, we need a lot of shots on goal. We need a lot of opportunities. And when we think about having our own company stock, that is just simply one opportunity in the marketplace. And even though the chance of winning might be much greater than 50%, at least in our minds, there's only going to be one outcome. It's either going to win or it's not. And even if there's a 90% chance that it wins and the other 10% comes in and it loses, you're still in the same economic situation where if you hold company stock, it's gone down and perhaps your income has been damaged as well. To me, that's not an investment, that's a gamble. And sometimes we have some wealth that we can gamble with. But most likely, if your company stock is a significant portion of your wealth and you need it for future expenses, I would suggest that you don't gamble with it. So my question to you is, do you want to play this game? If you have any comments or questions, please reach out to me. My email address is joe@bestfinlife.com. Have a great day.